Hello everyone, next project on my BMW here, the E93 330D, replacing the crankshaft position sensor. It's the M57 engine, so pre-LCI. It's located at the back below the starter. Someone's told me you need to take the gearbox off. I personally feel once you've got the starter off, which is just over here, that's the starter motor just there, and then just below that is the sensor. I've got a little diagram of it to give you an idea. So that bit that's highlighted, that one there, and it goes in here right at the back of the block. So the gearbox actually assembles onto there, and this is the back of the engine, and then you've got this ring over here, and the sensor slides into there. And I believe it's the sensor itself, it comes in kind of like in that way. So that's the sensor there. List of instructions as to what you've got to do with it. The reason I'm showing this is because I've looked everywhere for it on the internet, and I didn't see anything. So I was fairly confident that it would be above the below the starter anyway. However, just to be sure, I've gone into BMW, and a friend of mine who works there, I've asked him for the actual instructions. So that's the official method of doing it, and hopefully it's going to be a lot easier than having to take the gearbox out. So let's see how we get along. This is the actual sensor itself. So this is the side that goes onto the crank and gets the reading. That's obviously the plug there. I myself have taken off the inlet manifold because I was toying with the idea of whether or not I would have to take the gearbox off to be able to give myself a bit of extra space. I've taken the inlet manifold off. I don't believe you do actually need to take the inlet manifold off, because the starter itself is located, as I say, there, and that is below the manifold. However, it's definitely made my life a lot easier, so I was comfortable with taking it off because I've done the swirl flap delete myself. So if you want to do it that way around, I won't go into detail as to how to take the inlet manifold off. I've made another video on that, so just take a look at that. But that's the first step I've taken. And now on to the next step. I'm going to take a look at how we need to take the starter motor off. Right then, so what we've done so far to get this starter removed is I've disconnected the live from the battery. There's two of these cables that come off of the main from the starter, which is just from there. Two of these live wires come off. I'm aware that once you disconnect the battery, sometimes it does need reprogramming, so just be ready to do so. If somebody's got Carly or something, then that should help. Then there's the negative cable, which is just below, about there. That comes off. I've tucked that out of the way. And before that, actually, there is one more thing. So you need to take this thermostat, well, not thermostat, sorry, water pipe off. It's from here. I've tucked it just over here. This is the pipe that needs to come off. And I've stuck a bolt with a rag in there just to stop the water from flowing out, the antifreeze from flowing out. Yeah, so we've disconnected the live, disconnected that hose there, just kind of moved everything out of the way from here. You can see I've got a bunch of bungee cords just holding things back from here, and then you're pretty much ready to take out the starter motor, which needs to be done. These, I think they're called this reverse torques. I've got an E12, and that's the socket size. And there's a couple of bolts just at the back over here, so if you can see there. So There's that one there, there's an E12 there, and then there's one, ooh, just that one there. So that one just there. These two bolts come out, and that should be enough to take the starter out. They are not very strong bolts, so you got to make sure you got the right socket on these. As I say, it's an E12, and I would just say, you know, just to be on the safe side, just have a spare set of these bolts, just in case you do end up stripping them, because apparently they're meant to be for one-time use. Well, the looks of things, I'm gonna have to do this from underneath. So yeah, just to be on the safe side, once you jack the car up, make sure you've got some axle stands and things under there. Yeah, I'm gonna try and approach this from underneath. I believe there's a heat shield down there that I'm potentially gonna have to remove. But let's take a look at the job from below. Right, so with the starter out, that is the sensor just there, that one there. So there's an Allen key bolt which holds it in. Still looks like it's at a fairly tight angle. However, it should be much easier to pull out from here. Word of warning from here, taking the starter out was a very difficult job. And if you're not, you know, too clued up with this type of a job, I would definitely say take it to a professional. Because what I've just had to do as well, so for this bolt here, I've had to take an extension from here to halfway to near the back of the car, all above the gearbox, near enough where the prop shaft is, which I'll show you in a second. And because it was such a tight position, for lack of having the appropriate tool, I had to use a 10mm spanner to loosen both these bolts, this one and the one at the top. The one at the top I had to actually remove using the spanner, quarter turn at a time, and then the lower one, I loosened it up with the spanner, which had to be done from below, just over here. I was up underneath the car. I loosened it up from there, and once I managed to do that, I've taken an extension to all the way above the gearbox. I've taken both heat shields off, under trays off, and that there is the heat shield. I've had to push that out of the way, and then to give you an idea, the extension should still be up there, with my ratchet. Yeah, that's the extension there. Which is the only way that I can realistically see this being done, because of the very, very limited space that I've got. That was the only option I had. And it's definitely a lot easier done on a ramp, because you don't have a lot of space as well. But yeah, that's basically what you would need to do. So I would definitely say seek professional help. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do, take that sensor out. By the looks of it, there's a lot of oil and things here as well, so to kind of get rid of my fault, what I'm going to have to do is put some degreaser on there, probably, just to, because potentially it could be just dirt getting in there as well. I'm going to put some degreaser on there, just to clean things up, keep the block nice and clean. But yeah, let's see how we get along from here. So all done now. I've been driving this for about a week. It's been fine with no problems. I've actually, well, the fuel economy gauge actually reset, and before this change, the fuel economy was a lot worse than what is showing now. Now the figures are slowly dropping. However, before I was only getting about 23, 24 miles per gallon or thereabouts, and now it's actually getting it's a lot better. So it is dropping, as I say, at the moment, but we'll see how we get along. Anyway, the car is running all fine, no issues. yeah, thanks for watching.